this is your first time seeing our face or seeing any of our content, you are welcome. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so as to get notified when we upload new videos. And to our returning subscribers, oh my god, I love you all so much. Team Emerald, love you all so much. Like, we are really grateful and appreciative for your coming back. And also to those who have always been sharing our content, bringing people back to this channel and loving our content, sharing comments and liking. Oh god, I really love you. Yeah, so today's episode today's series on how to be consistent. Yeah, this consistency series has been wonderful, has been a whole lot. Yeah, it takes consistency to do this consistency series. We know that, we are preaching something, we have to stick to it and we have to abide by it. That's why we've always been consistent in doing this thing.
Today's topic is on the spiritual aspects. Yeah, because if we're talking about secular, social, and our personal life on how to be consistent on those areas, I think we should also talk about how to be consistent in spiritual things, because the spiritual controls the physical. I believe you all would agree with me that the spiritual controls the physical. So yeah, how to be consistent in our prayer life and walk with God. Yeah, so today I've brought on a vibrant youth of God. He loves to call himself Son of the Most High, in the person of Olamide Emmanuel. Come with me and let's unravel this together.
My name is Akinyemi Emmanuel, the student of the University of Ekiti. By God's grace, I'm also a minister, and as we go on, I hope you enjoy the video.
Yeah, so Emmanuel.
Yes, ma'am.
In your own understanding, what would you say consistency is?
It means you doing something every time. You keep doing it. You don't stop until there is a result. That's what we call consistency, in my own perspective.
That's nice. Okay, so we hear a lot of people say that I pray for something and I don't get the results. Does it mean the person is not consistent in praying, or the person needs to be more consistent in praying so as to get a positive result, or how do you come about that?
Talk about praying. Luke chapter 18 verse 1 told us that he spake a parable, that was Jesus, and he said men ought always to pray and not to faint. Now, if you are demanding for something, you are placing a demand on heaven, on something that you are seeking or you want. If you are to pray, you don't just say, okay, although God is is the one that answers our prayers. Of course, he answers our prayers. Someone told me, he said, it's not about how long, it's not about how long, but how far. But the thing is this: when you are seeking for something, for instance, as a student, you left the campus, you served, automatically you are expecting to find a job. Now, when you go to the first company and you got declined, you go to another company, you got declined, and on the notes, what is really happening there, you ask yourself. But the thing is this: you can't stop at that moment. The more you push, even from those companies that have declined you and the experience is gotten, maybe they find one or two faults, you've adjusted. Another one again, find one or two faults, you adjusted. So when you keep trying, it may become when you will get what you are looking for. You may not even work in a company, but those experiences you've accumulated might motivate you to establish your own company. So back to prayer now. When we talk about consistency in prayer, you just stay. Those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So you wait and you keep taxing. You keep taxing. The Bible says, call upon me and I will hearken, I will hear you. Do you understand? So you wait there. And it's not a matter of you come and say, Father, thank you for what you have done for me, or I thank you, and you say, okay, fine, that's all. Just say, God, I answer my prayer, that's all. But that thing will still be eating you. But rather, you consistently and constantly pray. So that is it.
Yeah. They say that when you are praying, you are storing treasures, because that there's a time when God wants to answer your prayers. God will go back to your prayer bank and look at how well you prayed. Not on this topic, how to be consistent in your prayer life and your walk with God. What can you say in general about this topic?
This topic is it's a very good topic, because I, to my own point of view and to how I've seen things, is one of the challenges that youth also face. Because when we go to the Lord in prayer, is equivalent to placing a demand on heaven that, okay, Lord, I want you to do this. But we don't get to be consistent. When you are thirsty, generally, now physically, when you are thirsty, you know that okay, it's either I take water or soda. Now, how thirsty you are determines the quantity of water or soda that you take. So how hungry you are for that power or for that Holy Ghost experience, for the fire, will determine how consistent you should be in prayer. You know, some people just go to the Lord in prayer and you pray for 1 hour and so on, just say, okay, fine, then you got that answer. No, you continue to go there. That is the essence of you having a secret place. You continue to go there to beckon on the Lord. You know, we are different. We are very different, and God answers prayers in various ways. Now, when you see that you are not getting the results that you ought to get, still part of consistency. When you are not getting the results you ought to get, number one thing you have to do is this. Okay, check. Okay, what is the problem? Is it that I have not waited, or is it that I am not consistent enough, or is it that I am not being specific? Because sometimes we go to prayer, we go to pray and we just beat around the bush. We don't hit the nail on the head. Do you understand? What are you seeking for? Specific in prayer is also necessary in terms of being consistent. This topic is a very important topic that both young and old, if you are deeply seeking for something, if you are really seeking and desiring something from God, this is the kind of thing that we have to consider. Am I being consistent in prayer? How well do I walk with God? Koinonia matters a lot. Koinonia, it matters in Christendom, in Christianity. Koinonia matters a lot. What is the fellowship you have with God? What is the fellowship? Moses walked with God. Abraham walked with God and he was called a friend of God. Isaac and some other personalities in the Bible walked with God. If we check through their lives, and even in our contemporaries, when we see ministers of God also who are doing well and God is helping, if we check through their life, how well they walk with God, they excel. And if you check their story, none of them, as fast as I've gone in my own reading and studying, none of them, skipped the era of consistency in prayer. None of them. They were always in that place.
At any point in time, prayer is very important in our lives. We cannot just go and just say that, God, I know you will do this thing and He's going to do it. Of course He's going to do it, but we need to always seek God's face.
Yeah, you see, consistency is a key factor. It's a very key factor to prayer. And I'm the kind of person that if I don't pray a day or read the Bible in a day, I get eaten up. I don't know. It's as if I have backslided. Honestly, well, I just feel that maybe that was the way I trained myself, or that was the way I was being trained. I don't know, but one thing I just understand from that angle is that being consistent in prayer also brings you closer to God. Being consistency in prayer, consistency in reading the Bible brings you closer to God. One. Number two, it guides your heart, because the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. So it guides your heart from fleshly attractions. When you pray consistently and when you also read the scriptures consistently, it brings you to God and also guides your heart. That's number two. Number three is that it makes you to see what God is trying to tell you. God may have a message for you, but because of the fact that you don't come to Him every time, it's only when perhaps you need something. Exactly. That is when you come to Him. Then it will just be like looking at you, okay, fine. The time that you are ready, then I'll give you also. Exactly. The time you are ready to establish the koinonia between me and you, that is when I will now come and reveal to you whatsoever you are seeking. So that is also the part of consistency, whereby we ourselves, we have to note them. So being consistency builds you up, gives you that spirit, because there is a particular spirit that you have in you that will always direct you and will always guide you anywhere you go. Why? Because you have sown a seed of consistency.
Consistency in prayer does not have to do with doubt. Are there times where you pray and the next minute you're like, this prayer has been prayed, so God will answer me? See, any prayer we pray, even to the minutest thing, God will answer. God knows our thoughts and our acts. He knows everything we want. He knows everything we seek for. And He sees beyond the physical. Be consistent both inside and outside. that God and man will testify that yes, this person is consistent. Consistency also deals with faith. Consistency in prayers, consistency in walk with God. You must have faith. Because if you have faith like a mustard seed, your prayers can go like wildfire. Anyway, anything you want it to do, it will do. Just remove doubts and just know that everything will be settled with Christ. Emmanuel also asks also, you know that this walk with God of a thing, there are times where you get fed up. There are times where it seems as if you are the only one in this world. Like, how else do I want to do this thing? I'm fed up of walking with God. It's as if, there are some people that say that it's those that walk with God that do have a lot of problems because there are a lot of things that they shed off so as to be consistent, with God. So how do we balance consistency with like our walk with God, to be consistent in our walk with God, and also balance it with our lifestyle, our day-to-day living, going out and our coming? How do we balance it so as not to feel as if we're left out in the world?
That's a very, very good question. But when it comes to balancing, although we'll say during the days of our fathers, Abraham and Moses and so, they never had their own personal work that they were doing, like in our own time, like this, how we have to go to work and how we have to do this. But one thing I usually see is there is no excuse in heaven. There is no excuse. You can't stand on the judgment day and you say, because I'm going to work, that was why I was unable to be consistent in working with God, or to be consistent in praying. There is no excuse like that. So, in other words, to balance whatsoever we are talking about here, consistency in prayer, and also working with God, spiritually, and how to balance it with our daily activities. I would just say prayer. You see, there's nothing prayer cannot do. There's nothing prayer cannot do. You cannot neglect. You see, when you ask, the Bible said, "Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it will be opened unto you." It did not say ask and I will give you later. Now, if you are the kind of person that just keeps you away from God, you are not on the right path. Even if you are a pastor, or maybe you are a worker in the church, and work is keeping you away from God, because it is your relationship with God that will determine your physical life. Take it or leave it. Yes, because it's your work with God are close and you to God, because there are some times whereby I've seen occasions. Someone actually told me this testimony of the brother whereby his work was clashing with the work of God. He's someone that will go to schools to preach and to minister and so on and so forth. So his work was really heavy. It was giving him a tough time. He got to a point where he hardly attends school again to preach. He was actually taking his life totally, like his spiritual life, rendering him cold. He had to resign. He wrote the resignation letter and he went to submit it in the face of God. But I tell you that what God cannot do does not exist. As long as you are faithful. As long as you are faithful. And what this brother, the climax of all this story was that he went to God, he prayed. He got the job that he can leave anytime. And that job was 10 times better than the one he was doing. So, that kind of person, number one, God appreciates his passion. That was why he was able to grant him that job. And immediately he saw that job, there was a balance. He could attend to God's work and attend to the other one. He could work with God and also attend to daily activities. There was no clashing. So if there is any clashing in your act of being consistent in prayer and working with God, then you need to tell it to God. So that, tell it to God in prayer. But there is nothing he cannot do. There is nothing he cannot do. But you tell him to pray, because there is no physical word that I can give you right now that can equally bring a balance. If I ask you to reschedule your daily activities, it's not if I'm exaggerating, it will still choke you one way or the other. Yes, because you will keep rescheduling, and as human, the moment you miss maybe a contract of 1 million because you reschedule, that's when it brings a burden to you. And be like, okay, let me just, you will just be like that to that. Let me just neglect God's work and I think I've tried. That's the thought. Let me
start giving excuses.
You start giving excuses. Exactly, say that God will understand, because that's the general word that we use, that God understands. I go to work on Sunday.
God understands. God does not understand anything. Let's be frank with ourselves. God does not understand anything. If we have to do what we have to do to be consistent with God's work, come on, it's God that gave us that work. It's God that gave us the job. If God did not make a way for us, we can't have half of what we have in this earth. So if you say that, oh, God understand, if you keep saying God understand, or so you lose the job and you still say God understand, people come and say that, don't worry sister, God understand, don't worry brother, God understand. Then you will now know how it feels to tell God that it understand. Because when people keep telling you God understand, you'll be like, what does God understand in all these things? There's nothing, absolutely nothing. Say, okay, have a timetable that this from this time to this time is for God. Whatsoever wants to come into it, there's some people that there's some people that they won't have their own personal job, they're self-employed, and yet they still use this adage, God understands.
Exactly.
If you are not disciplined that I must do this thing, there's no how. You'll just end up like people, like just ordinary Christian. That's just it. If you say you want to be a Christian that works with God, not just a Christian that is a Christian, then you must set out time. You must set your priorities right. You must know your driving force. You must know your purpose. You must know everything. And sometimes people use that God understand as an excuse to do flimsy things, which is not meant to be. There are people that, quite right, it is understandable that their job is demanding, but there are still ways that you can balance your spiritual life and your social life or your academic life as a student. There are ways you can balance it up. Some students will tell you that I have to read 2-4-7. Even Sundays they don't go to church, and they will say God understand. Please, it's not the same God you go to and say that God, please, I'm having exam the next day, please help me, I must have A's, I must do this, please, and you expect God to answer your prayer. It's not done. You can't cheat God and still have, like they will say that you can't cut your cake and have it. It's not possible. If you say that, if you keep saying God understand, there will be a time when you will need something dearly from God, and that period God will not understand, because He would check your consistency with Him and say that, oh, if at this point in time you cannot have a consistent walk with God, then when do you think you will have a consistent walk with God? There's no time. If you keep postponing and saying I will do it at a convenient time, now that we have time to check our lives, we need to have a consistent walk with God. In everything we do in life, we need to have a consistent walk with God. Our prayer lives, our spiritual life, our walk with God. See, there's nobody that is too little to have a walk with God. Like, there's nobody is too little to have a consistent prayer life and all like that. I pray God will help us to have a spiritual walk with God, to have a constant walk with God, because consistency cannot be overemphasized. We need faith, and that's like our faith must be. Even if our faith is so little like the mustard seed, the Bible says that it's going to honor our faith. No matter how that faith is, it's going to honor it. I pray God help us. So
discipline is also a factor that we also have to consider, because if you're going to be consistent, you have to imbibe discipline. You understand? You may be thinking that, okay, me that I didn't even pray at all, maybe me that my prayer life is down, then and I'm still having issues with still balancing it up, then how can I say achieve, the act of being consistent again when my prayer life is down and I don't even know they will start to pray? My brother or my sister, be disciplined. You have to be disciplined, because if you are not disciplined, what the devil does is this: once he can access your prayer life, when you don't have, just like when someone just slide into your bank account and take away your money, then you are just left with nothing. You won't be able to do anything now. It's not possible. So that's what the devil does. He tries to make sure he draw away your prayer from your prayer bank, and you have nothing to go back to. So once he can achieve that, that is all. Then you now have to go back to square one again. So the thing is this: you have to be disciplined. Okay, this is where I'm going to do this thing. Nothing to interfere. Nothing. If you want to do your house chores as a youth, you want to do your house chores, do it. If you don't want to send your hand, let them know that moment, no disturbance. So please, let us imbibe that spirit of discipline, because it's very, very important in our prayer life. Discipline to read the scripture, discipline to pray. If it is 1 hour, fine. Just in that 1 hour, you will not be disturbed. Because there was even one time was like, do you know that this same person said, do you know that, when we are praying and call enter, like we are praying and we just received the call and the phone was ringing, he said, we are not supposed to answer the phone call now. I told him, I said, why? He said, the moment we answer the phone call, we get disconnected.
Exactly.
And I was laughing because I'm a victim of that.
But people have always told me that when you are praying, you need to put your phone in airplane mode and all like that. Well, it takes discipline to do that. Actually, it takes discipline.
Exactly.
I will say it again. It takes discipline to ensure to switch off your phone when you want to pray, because the people they'll be like, I can miss something at this moment.
God
will just help us. Just like the video we did last time on this consistency series, how to be consistent and disciplined in life. That video is loaded. You need to go and see series. It's intertwined. We cannot just come up and say how to be consistent on a general note. We need to break it down so that we'll understand at every point in time what you need to do at every crossroad. And also, this one has also said we have to be disciplined. In consistency with God, our work with God, our prayer life, discipline is important. As everybody will say, this is important. Discipline. We need to be disciplined. Like, it takes discipline to work with God. It takes discipline to build a prayer altar, because there are some times that the body will be so tired, and there's this thing that used to happen. You will be very agile, but when you say you want to pray, sleep will just carry you. And you'll be like,
no, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
You can't cheat nature, so that doesn't.
But even if you just woke up from sleep and you're not feeling sleepy, and you just say, let me pray or let me read the Bible, I don't know where the sleep just comes from, and
like a wind.
Exactly, you are off. It takes discipline also not to sleep at that moment. But it's not easy, but it takes discipline. If we are disciplined, then we can have a smooth. And also, this work with God, be yourself. Don't say, I want to be like this person. Be like Christ. Don't walk after another person's time. Walk with God. Don't look at somebody else. Don't say, it's my role model, it's my pastor, it's my. Everybody have different spiritual capability. Everybody have different spiritual capability. So know your right standing and know it with Christ, not with your pastor. You can have your pastor as a mentor. You can have mentors. I'm not against that. But I mean that walk with God for God, not for man. I hope you understand. Thank you very much for today and our honorable guest, Minister Emmanuel. Thank you for honoring our invitation. So
thank you.
Yeah. So yes, if you are yet to subscribe, please please click on it. Thank you. And also, like watching something from this video, then like it and allow other people to also see. Share to other people, subscribe, and thank you very much as you do so. We love you.